and welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing our new stitched flower frame and outside in stitched flower. So let's go ahead and check these out. So here are the pieces included in the stitched flower frame. And so there's all these pieces that you can mix and match. We have the center of the flower, which you can add to the center or not, depending on what look you're going for. And then you can use the stem and the leaves. So you can add the flower to the stem and then the leaves to the stem, or you can just add the leaves to the flower too. Now here is the outside in stitched flower, and this creates a really cool outside in detail. So you can see that you have the stitched flower opening and also the stitched flower. And then we also have a stitched flower center, which you can layer onto the flower piece, or you can also layer it into the flower shaped window too, which is really neat. You can also take that whole piece and layer them too for a really cool double stitched inlay look. Now we also have an adorable little smiley face in this set, which you can die cut from the center of the flower or not, depending on what you're feeling. So we're going to take that die now and we're going to die cut that from our center here. We're going to hold it in place with some low tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and now we have a little smiley face for the center of the flower. I like to die cut another piece from a contrasting color of cardstock and layer it behind to color in the smiley face, which you can layer on the flower there. And we also have the cute little rosy cheeks, which you can layer onto the flower or not. Now the best part is that these dies work great on their own, but they work great together too. So that stitched flower frame fits right into the stitched window opening, just like that. You can also take the stitched center and layer it into the frame too, so you can mix and match things. You can also use the stem and the leaves with that outside in stitched flower, so you can layer those right onto there, or you can even do it with a flower stem too. So it just kind of depends on whatever look you're going for. And there you can see you can then layer that cute little smiley face right on top, and that's a super sweet look. The other thing that you can do is layer that stitched flower frame onto the stitched flower, and that's going to make it really easy to create shakers, which we're going to be showing you in the video today. You can also take these flowers and offset them from each other for a really cool look. So you can have them like that, or you can offset it a little bit, and it's going to give the look of a ton of flower petals and a different flower style. So it just depends on whatever look that you're going for. And here you can see if you add a little foam squares in the back that you'll create a really cool little sequin area there for your flower. So first up, we're going to be working with some peacock cardstock and the stitched flower frame, which is so cute. It's such a happy little flower. So we're going to run that through the die cut machine. We're also going to take the stitched flower center that's from the outside inset, and we're going to die cut that from both black and some sunflower cardstock. Then we're going to die cut the smiley face from the sunflower cardstock. Now I like to die cut the smiley face from the back of the die cut just to make sure I don't get any imprinting on the front. So I die cut it from the back and now the front looks totally perfect. I'm also going to die cut some leaves from Cilantro cardstock and also the flower stem from some Noble Fir cardstock too. And then we'll die cut those cute little rosy cheeks from some Ballet Slipper cardstock. Now that we have all of the pieces die cut, we can start to layer and form this cute little smiley flower. So I'm going to add some liquid glue there with the glue tube to the back of the smiley face piece and then layer the black cardstock, and that's going to color in my little smiley face and eyes black. And then I'm going to add the cute little rosy cheeks on there next. And then it's time to pick out some pattern paper. So I'm going to use the spring fling paper since it's got all those beautiful flowers to go along with my smiley flower. I'm going to pick out the pink paper here, which is the Debbie paper, and we're going to trim that down to be a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25. And then we're going to go ahead and layer that onto a standard size card with some tape runner there. Then next we're going to be working with the spiffy speckles paper, and I love how well the spring fling and the spiffy speckles paper go together. So I'm going to pick out one of the whiter pieces that has the yellow dots, that's the ripe banana color. We're going to die cut that with a stitched rectangle. That's the largest of the small stitched rectangles. We're also going to use that same rectangle to die cut some of the green paper from spring fling. Now we can layer that rectangle with the yellow splatters on there, and then we're going to use a grassy border to die cut that stitched rectangle. So I'll run that through my die cut machine, and now I have some grass that also has that same stitched border all of the way around. Now we can start to layer those die cut pieces that we did before. So I'm going to add that Noble Fir stem there right into the center, and then we can start to add those cute little leaves on either side. Then I'm going to take the whole flower piece, the flower frame piece, and layer that right on exactly where I want it to be. And then from there, I can layer the smiley face on. And I'm going to add the smiley face part with some foam squares. And I think it's really cute that that's just the part that's popped out. I think it makes it look really, really funny and cute and sweet. And so next up, to add the sentiment, we're going to be using one of the fancy wavy banners. And so I've die cut that from some Guava Cardstock, and we're going to use the wavy saying stamp set, which is perfectly curved to fit in this banner. And so I'm going to use the thanks so much, but what's cool about this card design is you really could use any of those sentiments to go along with it. So you can even just create your flower and wait to put your sentiment on right at the last minute, depending on what kind of card you need. So I'm going to stamp in some clear sticky ink and add some white embossing powder right on there, and then we're going to heat that up with the heat gun. Now that that's all nice and shiny and bright and white, we're going to go ahead and fold along the score lines. So we're going to fold along that first score line away from ourselves and the second score line towards ourselves, creating a Z shape. So we're going to do that first one away and then the next one towards ourselves, and look at that cool three-dimensional banner. Then from there, we're going to add this to our card base. So we're going to add some tape runner to each of those little banner pieces, and then a foam square in the middle to kind of help support the banner and keep it popped up. And then we're going to layer that right at the bottom of the flower. And now the card is all done. It's so super cute, and it was so easy to make. I could make a bunch of them, which is really, really awesome. So next up, we're going to be recreating a card by Kay. So thank you so much, Kay. And we're going to die cut some of the really rainbow scallops paper with the outside in stitched flower. Then we're going to die cut using that stitched flower center some sticky note cardstock, and we're going to run that through the die cut machine and cut a smiley face from that flower center. So I'm going to die cut it from the back of the die cut, hold it in place with some low tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and now I have that cute and adorable little smiley face. I also die cut a circle from some black licorice cardstock, and we're going to layer that right on the back to add some colors to the eyes and mouth. Next, I'm going to take the rosy cheeks and I'm going to die cut that from some of the spring fling paper so that the rosy cheeks match some of the other details that we're going to add onto this flower. So next up, we're going to add some hearts to this flower. So we're going to be using the heart that's in the tiny gift box, but really any heart die would work. So we're going to run that through with some of that spring fling paper and run a bunch of them through, and this is going to be the detail for the petals on our flower. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add that flower center there with some foam squares, and then we can start to layer on these cute little hearts so that they kind of look like petals, and we're going to layer those right behind that smiling face. So I'm just adding some little tape runner to the back and layering those all the way around, and I love how cute it looks because they look like petals, but they also have the hearts on them, so it's just so super sweet. I also love watching this in fast motion. I don't know why, but I find watching fast motion very relaxing. So now my cute little flower is all done, and so it's time to work on the leaves. So here I have some Cilantro cardstock and some of the pesto paper from Spiffy Speckles, and we're going to die cut a bunch of those using those leaves dies. We're going to have some of them by themselves and also some of them layered. And I think the small and the large petal looks so cool layered together. So we're going to add some tape runner to the back of that leaf and then layer that towards the bottom, and it gives a really, really neat look. So we're going to repeat that on the other leaf there. And then we're going to start to work on our card base. So this is going to be a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25, and we're going to do something kind of cool here. We've got our spring fling paper, and on the 12 by 12 paper at the very bottom there's kind of a cool detailed piece, and we're going to use that in this card. So I just trimmed down a piece here real quick, but keeping that cool decorative edge along the bottom. Then we're going to add some tape runner to that and layer that onto the card, so it looks like we used 2 pieces of pattern paper, but we really just utilized that cool decorative edge that's on the 12 by 12 paper. So I'm holding my flower in place and then going ahead and adding my little leaves directly on with some tape runner to my card base. So I think it looks really cute to have the flower without the stem too and just have leaves coming out from that flower. I've added some foam squares to the back of the flower, and then next we have one of the simple wavy banners cut from some white cardstock, and this time we're going to use the wavy sayings again, but we're going to be using the Love You Lot stamped in black licorice, and I love this wavy saying stamp set. It's like becoming one of my new favorites. And then I've added some foam squares to the back of that, and we're going to layer that right onto the pink piece. And then for a last finishing touch, I'm going to use some old school stickles. I think I must have had these for about 15 years, and they still work, which is pretty cool. And so we're going to add some fun little decorative elements all around this flower. It's got a little glitter in it and it fills in some of that white space, and I think looks super cute. I just love how Kay did this. And now the card is all done. These stitched flower cards are really some of my favorite. I think it's because of that adorable little smiley face. So now it's time to combine these two die sets to create a shaker card. So we're going to take out some more of that spring fling paper because it goes so great with this stitched flower frame. And we're going to pick out some different colors, and we're going to use the blue paper, which is the Julia paper. We're going to die cut a scallop circle out of that paper. We're also going to die cut some mermaid cardstock, and we're going to die cut 2 of those. We're going to layer the pattern paper on one of them, and then we're going to use one to create our card base. So we're going to use a scoring tool here, and we're going to score about 1/4 of an inch or so down from the top, and then we're going to fold back along that piece there. And this is going to create a cool scallop circle shaped card. So now that we have that nice and creased really well, we're going to go ahead and add some liquid glue first to that main piece that we're going to layer the pattern paper on. And then we're going to add liquid glue only to above that score line that we created. And that's going to create this cool shaped card. And I love that you can do this with any of your shaped die cuts. So we're going to layer these 2 pieces together and push down, and you'll see that that's going to create a really, really cool shaped scallop circle card. Next, we're going to take out our spiffy speckles paper, and we're going to use the flower frame dies and the outside in flower dies too. So we're going to die cut one out of the ripe banana yellow color. We're going to die cut some of the leaves out of the green pesto color. And then we're also going to die cut some acetate, and this is going to be using the outside in frame. So that's going to be a part of our window. And then we're also going to die cut some of that sea foam color there from the spiffy speckles from that same outside in flower. So those are our 3 pieces that are going to form our shaker. So the first thing we need to do is create our window. So we're going to add some liquid glue all along the back of the flower frame, and then layer the acetate piece that was cut with the outside in stitched flower, just like that. Next, we need to create our shaker by adding some foam. So there's a few ways to do this. You could use that stitched flower frame die to cut some fun foam and do it that way. You could use foam squares, or you could do this fun method here where we're going to kind of go around the circle using some foam tape. And the way that you do that is by snipping tiny little slits into your foam tape, just like that. So we're going to snip a bunch of them, and that's going to help you curve that foam tape around the circle. So now we can put it down, and you'll see how easy it's going to curve right around that circle. So we're going to do this once, and then we're going to do it again, creating a double layer of foam so that our shaker pieces are going to move really nice in there. So you see we're going to layer a second layer of that foam, just like that. And then after that's all done, we can start to add our fun little sequin pieces in there. So you can do sequins or little beads, I think would be really cute. Kind of anything you can think of, some glitter. And we're going to layer that right into the center of that circle. Then we can take our blue piece there, cut from the outside in one, and layer that right to the back of the frame. And that's going to finish up our shaker mechanism. Now we can add some liquid glue to the back of that and layer that right onto our scallop circle shaped card. The next step is to add some of those cute little leaves. So we're going to layer that right onto the flower, and I think that looks so cute coming out from one side. And then we're going to take a heart from the hearts dies, and we're going to die cut it from some Guava Cardstock. We tried some of the pink from the spiffy speckles, but it wasn't quite bold enough. And I love the heart in the center of this flower. Now for the sentiment, we're going to pick something from Wavy Sayings again, and we're going to stamp it on the inside of the card, and it's going to say, "You're the best," in some peacock cardstock. And now the card is all done, and it's so super cute. I love the awesome shaker element and how we have the cute little sentiment on the inside. It's just so sweet and so much fun. And next we have some gorgeous cards by the design team. So first up we have a card by Audrey. I love how she used the stripy backdrop and the beautiful shading she created on the flower. This card here by Elena is just gorgeous. I love the detail that she added onto the flower petals and the lattice backdrop in the background. And then here's the card by Kay that inspired me to make mine. It's so super cute, so thank you so much, Kay. And these cards by Elise, oh my goodness, how cute. They're flower-shaped cards, and they are absolutely adorable in those bright colors. This card by Kay is so sweet, and those layered butterflies is a perfect touch to one of these cute little flowers. And then I love how Lynette layered the flowers in some of the new cardstock with the lattice backdrop. And then Yainea got super creative and used it as a way to present a cookie treat. How adorable is this? She used that center opening, and I just love this so much. So I cannot wait to see what you guys do with these new stitch flower dies, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!